Welcome everyone to my channel. 1. Introduction to websites. Websites are collections of web pages that are accessed via the internet. They serve various purposes, from personal blogs to complex e-commerce platforms. Websites can be categorized into two main types, static and dynamic. A static website displays fixed content, whereas a dynamic website can display content that changes based on user interaction, data inputs, or other factors. 2. Components of a website. Creating a website involves several components. Domain names, the website's address on the internet, e.g., www.example.com. Hosting services, servers that store your website files and make them accessible online. Website files, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files that structure, style, and add interactivity to your website. Content management systems, CMS platforms like WordPress that help manage content easily. 3. How to create a static website. A static website is a site with fixed content delivered directly to the user's browser exactly as stored. Each page is an individual HTML file, which does not change unless manually edited. Static websites are generally faster, cheaper to host, and easier to create, making them ideal for portfolios, landing pages, and informational sites. Advantages of static websites. Speed. Static sites load faster because they serve pre-rendered content directly from the server without running scripts or queries. Security. With no server-side processing, static sites are less vulnerable to attacks such as SQL injection or cross-site scripting. Cost-effective. Hosting static sites is generally cheaper as they require fewer resources than dynamic sites. Scalability. Static sites can handle large amounts of traffic with minimal server load. Tools and technologies for building static websites. 1. Text editors. Basic editors like Notepad++ or advanced IDEs like Visual Studio Code and Sublime Text are popular for writing code. 2. Version control. Git is commonly used for tracking changes and collaborating on code. 3. Static site generators. SSGs tools like Jekyll, Hugo, and Gatsby automate the creation of static websites from templates and markdown files, making it easier to manage larger sites. 4. Design tools. Use tools like Figma, Adobe XD, or Sketch to design layouts before coding. 5. Hosting platforms. GitHub Pages, Netlify, and Vercel are popular platforms for hosting static sites. Step-by-step guide to creating a static website. 1. Setting up your development environment. A. Install a code editor, e.g., Visual Studio Code. B. Set up Git for version control if needed. 2. Creating the structure with HTML. A. Start with a basic HTML document structure. 3. Styling with CSS. 4. Create a styles.css file and link it to your HTML. 5. Optimizing images and media. A. Compress images using tools like TinyPNG or ImageOptim to reduce load times. B. Use modern formats like WebP for better performance. 6. Deploying your static website. A. GitHub Pages. Free hosting for public repositories. Commit your files to a GitHub repository, then enable GitHub Pages in the repository settings. B. Netlify. Drag and drop your site folder or connect a GitHub repository for continuous deployment. C. Vercel. Similar to Netlify, it provides easy integration with GitHub and automatic deployment on push. 7. Maintaining your static website. A. Regularly update content by editing the HTML files. B. Use version control to manage updates and collaborate with others. Best practices for static websites. A. SEO optimization. Use semantic HTML, proper heading structures, and meta tags to improve search engine rankings. A. Performance. Minify CSS, JavaScript, and HTML to reduce file sizes. Use lazy loading for images to enhance speed. Accessibility. Ensure the site is accessible by using alt text for images, ARIA roles, and proper contrast ratios. Common use cases for static websites. Personal portfolios, showcasing work samples with a clean, straightforward design. A landing pages, for product launches, event promotions, or capturing leads. Documentation sites, using static site generators like Jekyll or Docasaurus to create fast, Navigable documentation. Example of a basic static website layout. Homepage, index.html introduction, featured content, navigation links. About page, about.html information about the creator, company, or project. Contact page, contact, HTML contact form, social media links, and other contact details. Extending static websites with static site generators, SSGs. Static site generators automate the creation of static pages, allowing you to use templates, markdown, and data files. This approach helps maintain consistency across multiple pages and reduces repetitive tasks. A Jekyll, popular for blogs and documentation sites, works well with GitHub pages. Hugo, known for its speed and flexibility, great for large sites. A Gatsby, uses React, allowing for a more modern development approach with static content. 4. How to create a dynamic website. A dynamic website is one where the content is generated in real time, often based on user interaction or data inputs. Unlike static websites, where the content remains fixed, dynamic websites can display different content based on factors such as user behavior, preferences, or database queries. Advantages of dynamic websites. Interactivity allows for rich user interactions, such as form submissions, user accounts, and content customization. Content management. Dynamic websites often use CMSs, content management systems, like WordPress or Drupal, making it easier to manage and update content without direct coding. Personalization. Dynamic sites can deliver personalized experiences to users, such as tailored content, recommendations, and user-specific data. Integration with databases. Dynamic websites can pull data from databases, allowing for large-scale, dynamic content management, such as product catalogs or user-generated content. Key components of a dynamic website. 1. Server-side programming languages. PHP, widely used for web development, powering platforms like WordPress and Facebook. Node.js, uses JavaScript on the server side, enabling real-time applications like chat rooms and collaborative tools. Python, popular for its simplicity and efficiency, used in frameworks like Django and Flask. Ruby on Rails, known for its ease of use and convention over configuration philosophy. 2. Databases. Relational databases, SQL, MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQLite are common choices for storing structured data. NoSQL databases, MongoDB and Cassandra are used for unstructured or semi-structured data, providing flexibility for certain types of applications. Database design involves structuring data in tables for SQL or collections for NoSQL, defining relationships and optimizing queries for performance. 3. Web frameworks. Django. Python provides an all-in-one framework with built-in ORM, object relational mapping, authentication, and admin interfaces. Laravel. PHP known for elegant syntax, built-in tools, and ease of use. Express.js. Node.js, a minimalistic framework that allows flexibility in building web applications. Ruby on Rails encourages convention over configuration, reducing the time and effort needed to set up and configure. 4. Client-side technologies. HTML/CSS. Basic building blocks for creating and styling web pages. JavaScript. Adds interactivity and dynamic content on the client side. Front-end frameworks. React, Angular, and Vue.js are popular for creating complex, responsive user interfaces. 5. APIs, application programming interfaces. REST APIs, standard for web services, allowing different software applications to communicate. GraphQL, an alternative to REST that provides more flexibility in querying data. Third-party APIs, integration with services like payment gateways, Stripe, PayPal, social media, Facebook, Twitter, and mapping services, Google Maps. 6. CMS, content management systems. WordPress, the most popular CMS, suitable for blogs, portfolios, and small to medium-sized websites. Drupal, known for its flexibility and scalability, often used for complex and large websites. Joomla, balances ease of use and flexibility, suitable for both beginners and experienced developers. Steps to create a dynamic website. 1. Planning and designing the website. O. Requirement analysis. Determine the purpose of the site, the target audience, and the features required, e.g., user accounts, e-commerce, content management. O. Wireframing. Create wireframes and mockups to visualize the structure and layout of the site. O. Database design. Design the database schema, including tables, relationships, and data types. Consider normalization to reduce data redundancy. 2. Setting up the development environment. O. Install development tools. Set up a local development environment with tools like XAMPP/WAMP for PHP or Node.js for JavaScript applications. O. Version control. Use Git for tracking changes and collaborating with other developers. 3. Backend development. O. Server-side logic. Write code to handle business logic, such as processing user inputs, interacting with databases, and managing sessions/authentication. O. Database integration. Connect the website to the database and implement CRUD, create, read, update, delete operations. O. API development. Develop APIs for communication between the client and server, ensuring secure data transfer and handling different data formats, e.g., JSON. 4. Front-end development. O. UI/UX design. Implement the website's front-end using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Use frameworks like Bootstrap for responsive design. O. Dynamic content rendering. Use JavaScript or front-end frameworks like React or Angular to render dynamic content based on user actions or data fetched from the server. O. Ajax. Implement asynchronous requests to update parts of the page without reloading, improving user experience. 5. Testing. O. Unit testing. Test individual components or functions to ensure they work as expected. O. Integration testing. Ensure different parts of the website work together smoothly, such as the interaction between the front end and back end. O. User acceptance testing. UAT tests the website with real users to identify usability issues and gather feedback. 6. Deployment. O. Choose a hosting provider. Select a hosting service that supports the technologies used, e.g., Heroku, AWS, DigitalOcean. O. Continuous integration/continuous deployment, CI/CD setup pipelines to automate testing and deployment, reducing the risk of errors during deployment. O. Domain name and SSL. Register a domain name and set up SSL to secure the site with HTTPS. 7. Post-launch maintenance. O. Monitoring and analytics. Use tools like Google Analytics and server logs to monitor traffic, performance, and user behavior. O. Security updates. Regularly update server software, dependencies, and apply security patches to protect against vulnerabilities. O. Content management. Update content regularly to keep the website fresh and relevant. For CMS-based sites, this involves adding new posts, pages, or products. Best practices for dynamic websites. Scalability. Design your website to handle increasing traffic by optimizing code, using caching strategies, and considering load balancing. Security. Implement robust security measures such as input validation, sanitization, and proper authentication mechanisms to protect against threats like SQL injection, XSS, cross-site scripting, and CSRF, cross-site request forgery. Performance optimization. Use techniques such as lazy loading, database indexing, and content delivery networks, CDNs, to improve load times and overall performance. SEO optimization. Implement SEO best practices, such as creating clean URLs, using meta tags effectively, and optimizing content for search engines. Common use cases for dynamic websites. E-commerce sites, platforms like Amazon or Shopify, where users can browse products, make purchases, and manage their accounts. Social media platforms, websites like Facebook or Twitter, where users can interact with each other, share content, and engage in conversations. Content management systems, CMS websites like WordPress or Joomla, where users can easily add, edit, and manage content without needing technical expertise. Web applications, tools like Google Docs or Trello, which provide interactive services directly through the browser. Extending dynamic websites with microservices architecture. Microservices, breaking down a large application into smaller, independent services that communicate over a network. This architecture allows for better scalability, easier maintenance, and more flexibility in development. APIs and service-oriented architecture. S-Way dynamic websites can be extended with additional services or integrated with third-party services using APIs, enabling features like payment processing, data analysis, or external authentication, e.g., OAuth. Challenges in developing dynamic websites. A complexity. Dynamic websites are more complex to develop and maintain compared to static websites. They require knowledge of server-side programming, databases, and client-server architecture. Security risks. Dynamic websites are more prone to security threats, so it's crucial to implement best practices in coding and security. Performance issues. Dynamic content generation can slow down the website, especially under heavy load. It's important to optimize both the backend and frontend for speed. 6. Website design and user experience (UX). What is website design? Website design involves the planning, creation, and maintenance of web pages, focusing on layout, color scheme, graphics, typography, and content. Good design is more than aesthetics. It integrates functionality and usability, ensuring that users can navigate and interact with the site intuitively. What is user experience (UX)? User experience (UX) is about creating a seamless, efficient, and pleasant interaction between the user and the website. It encompasses all aspects of a user's interaction with the website, from the initial landing to completing desired actions, like purchasing a product or finding information. Key principles of website design. 1. Simplicity. Keep designs simple and intuitive. Avoid clutter and ensure that elements on the page serve a clear purpose. 2. Consistency. Use consistent design elements, such as fonts, colors, and button styles, to provide a cohesive experience across all pages. 3. Visual hierarchy. Organize information in a way that guides users' eyes to the most important elements first, such as headings, calls to action, and navigation. 4. Accessibility. Design websites that are accessible to all users, including those with disabilities. This includes using proper contrast, alt text for images, and screen reader compatibility. 5. Responsiveness. Ensure that your website looks and functions well on all devices, including desktops, tablets, and smartphones. Elements of effective website design. 1. Layout and structure. Grid system. Use a grid-based layout to keep content organized and balanced, providing a clear structure for users. White space. Utilize white space effectively to reduce clutter, improve readability, and focus attention on key elements. Navigation. Design intuitive navigation that helps users find what they're looking for with minimal effort. Use clear labels, logical menu structures, and prominent placement. 2. Color scheme. Color psychology. Use colors that evoke the desired emotions and align with your brand's message. For example, blue often conveys trust, while red can create a sense of urgency. Contrast and readability. Ensure sufficient contrast between text and background to improve readability, especially for accessibility purposes. Brand consistency. Use a consistent color palette that reflects your brand identity throughout the site. 3. Typography. Font selection. Choose fonts that are easy to read and align with your brand's personality. Avoid overly decorative fonts for body text. Font size and spacing. Use adequate font sizes and line spacing to enhance readability. Headings should be distinct and used in a hierarchical manner. Readability. Prioritize readability by using clear fonts, proper text alignment, and avoiding overly long line lengths. 4. Imagery and graphics. High-quality images. Use sharp, high-resolution images that are relevant and add value to the content. Avoid using stock photos that look generic or staged. Visual consistency. Ensure that all images and graphics maintain a consistent style and align with the overall design of the site. Icons. Utilize icons to improve visual appeal and aid navigation, but ensure they are easily recognizable and meaningful to users. 5. Interactive elements. Buttons. Design buttons that stand out and clearly indicate they are clickable. Use appropriate colors and hover effects to enhance usability. Forms. Keep forms simple and easy to fill out. Only ask for essential information and provide clear labels and error messages. Animations. Use animations sparingly to draw attention to key elements or provide feedback, e.g., button clicks. Avoid overuse, as this can distract users. 6. Content strategy. Clarity and conciseness. Write clear and concise content that delivers the message effectively. Break up long text blocks with headings, bullet points, and visuals. SEO optimization. Use keywords strategically, optimize images with alt text, and structure content with headings to improve search engine visibility. Engaging calls to action. CTAs use compelling CTAs that guide users toward desired actions, such as signing up, purchasing, or learning more. Key principles of user experience, UX, design. 1. User-centric design. Focus on the needs, preferences, and behaviors of the target audience. Conduct user research to understand what users want and how they interact with the site. 2. Usability. Ensure that the website is easy to use, with intuitive navigation, clear labels, and a logical flow of actions. 3. Information architecture. Organize content in a way that makes it easy for users to find information quickly. Use categorization, clear headings, and search functionality to enhance discoverability. 4. Feedback and error handling. Provide feedback when users take actions, such as form submissions or clicks. Clearly communicate errors and offer solutions to guide users toward success. 5. Loading speed. Optimize website speed to reduce load times, as slow websites can frustrate users and increase bounce rates. Design process for website and UX. 1. Research and discovery. User research. Conduct surveys, interviews, and usability tests to gather insights into user needs and behaviors. Competitive analysis. Analyze competitors' websites to identify strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities to differentiate your design. Personas and user journeys. Create user personas and map out user journeys to visualize how different types of users will interact with your website. 2. Wireframing and prototyping. Wireframes. Create low-fidelity sketches or digital wireframes to establish the layout and structure of the site. Prototypes. Develop clickable prototypes using tools like Figma, Sketch, or Adobe XD to simulate the user experience before full development. User testing. Conduct usability testing with prototypes to identify pain points and areas for improvement before finalizing the design. 3. Visual design. Mood boards. Create mood boards to set the tone and visual direction of the design, including color schemes, typography, and imagery. Style guides. Develop style guides that define the design elements, such as fonts, colors, and components, ensuring consistency throughout the site. 4. Implementation and development. Work closely with developers to ensure that the design is translated accurately into the final product. Collaborate on responsive design adjustments and interactive elements. 5. Testing and iteration. A/B testing. Conduct A/B testing on different design elements, such as button placements or color schemes, to determine what works best for users. Usability testing. Continuously test the website with real users to identify usability issues and gather feedback for ongoing improvements. 6. Launch and post-launch optimization. Analytics and user feedback. Use tools like Google Analytics, Hotjar, or Crazy Egg to track user behavior and gather insights on how to improve the site. Continuous improvement. Regularly update the website based on user feedback, technological advancements, and design trends to keep it fresh and relevant. Best practices for website design and UX. Mobile-first design. Design with mobile devices in mind first, then scale up for larger screens. This ensures a better user experience on mobile devices, which are often the primary means of accessing websites. Consistent branding. Ensure that all design elements align with your brand's identity, including logos, color schemes, and messaging style. Optimize for accessibility. Follow Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, WCAG, to ensure that your website is usable by people with disabilities. This includes providing keyboard navigation, using ARIA roles, and ensuring sufficient contrast. Minimize distractions. Avoid unnecessary animations, pop-ups, or auto-playing media that can frustrate users. Focus on delivering content and functionality clearly and directly. Performance optimization. Optimize images. Reduce server requests and use efficient coding practices to keep your website fast and responsive. Trends in website design and UX. Dark mode, increasingly popular for its aesthetic appeal and reduced eye strain, especially in low-light environments. Micro-interactions, small animations or visual cues that provide feedback to users, enhancing the interactive feel of a website. Neumorphism, a design trend that blends skeuomorphism and flat design, creating a soft, extruded effect on buttons and other UI elements. Minimalism, a focus on simplicity and usability, removing unnecessary elements to highlight key content and functionality. Challenges in website design and UX. Balancing aesthetics and functionality. Creating a beautiful design that also meets usability standards can be challenging. Striking the right balance is essential for effective UX. Catering to diverse users. Designing for a wide audience means accounting for various devices, screen sizes, and accessibility needs, which can complicate the design process. Keeping up with trends. The web design landscape evolves rapidly, requiring designers to stay updated on new technologies, trends, and user expectations. Thank you for watching.